Welcome back to SJ Cartier Limited Convos. And today I'm going to go through some of the comments on my last video and kind of answer them live in person because I feel like the message gets lost and some people have given opinions that I think they've misunderstood exactly where I'm trying to come from. And to kind of show you what I mean from what I come from, one of the first comments that I'm looking at on my first video, part one, they state my video and my actual thoughts to why some people may be displaying the flag for the wrong reasons. What's his name? Yag Droll. Don't know what kind of name that is, but Yag Droll, yeah. Is asked, is this a parody? A second generation Jamaican immigrant, woke identifies as an Englishman. This is so bizarre. And I'm thinking, I'm a bit confused there. I am English. I'm born here. So regardless of whether one of my parents is Jamaican and born in Jamaica and one of my parents was born here, I class myself as an Englishman because I am English. I have an English passport. I obviously understand my heritage as a Jamaican black man, and I will never hide from that. I also understand my heritage as a previous years back again, because we're going years back, to me being African. I also know that I've got Scottish in my blood, and I also know I've got Irish in my blood. I've got family in America, I've got family in Canada, I've got family in other parts of the Caribbean. So I know who I am. And me being woke to what is going around in the country I've born and raised in is exactly what I'm going to be. I'm not going to be one of the black men from how many years ago that was in slavery and couldn't speak how he felt. Couldn't speak. He had no voice because his voice wouldn't be heard. And right now, even with all the urban YouTubers, honestly, your voice is only being heard when you're chatting about each other. It ain't being heard when you're talking the real of what you're living. So I'm going to go over a few of the comments and answer them because some of them have quite annoyed me, to be honest. And I feel like my response in typing is beside the point. When I can talk, I've asked these people if they want to understand my opinion and why I'm presuming there's a high percentage of these people that are out there trying to wave flags, trying to bully people out of hotels that are asylum seekers, is not down to some of the reasons they're pointing out. Is actually down to a lot of racial prejudice within themselves, whether they want to admit that they are or they don't. That's how I see it, because I'm looking at it as well as I am English. So if people are coming from another country and getting jobs that I can take, I do feel aggrieved because I could have done that job. I get that point. But then also it's on me to make myself more available for those jobs that they are getting. It's on me also to prove to the English manager who's employing these people that I, the Englishman, is better than the asylum seeker who they may think they can pay a little less. So let's go into this. One of the comments on part two is by RyVD6064 is, if you have an issue with the English flag, leave England. So wait a minute. I'm English. There's a lot of white English people that understand the flag, but also understand the heritage of the flag. Some that may, when they understand the heritage of the flag, will understand that everyone on this island is basically an immigrant from another island. I didn't actually say that in the comments. We're all immigrants, whether we're German, whether we're Polish, whether we're Russian, whether we're Jamaican, whether we're African. We've all come from somewhere previously. And England, United Kingdom, as it is now, was just a standalone island with not many inhabitations on here. And it was found by Europeans. We, over the time frame, have had kids on this island of the United Kingdom and have now called ourselves England. Just like me, the Jamaican heritage family is born here now and claim myself as English. So for me to say, yeah, you know what? Let me answer that question. If I have an issue with the English flag, leave England. I don't have an issue with the English flag at all. You wave that flag because if I want to wave the flag, no one's telling me not to. I have an issue with some of those people that have comments and thought plans like that. Leave England, forgetting that you're saying that to someone from England. And just like 90, I'm not even going to throw no percentages out there. Just like a lot of us, we also would love to leave England if we could. Ask yourself that question, English people. If you had a choice of somewhere you could live right now with no questions asked, no money issues, no house problems, no job issues if you had to get a job when you was over there, no issues, no family issues. You could bring a couple of your family members, a couple of your immediates, a couple of your friends. Where would you be right now? Where would you be? Because yeah, I get it. I've got a lot of family here still. So obviously I'd have to come back to England very much so because I have family here. I'm born here. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of countries that have better life than what we as English people can live here. And that's not the asylum seekers' fault. That's just the way our country is. And yeah, sometimes, just like me, some people may look at my business and say, you know what, look at his business, he ain't really getting that much. We've got this organised and this organised. But my little, I'm happy with. So obviously, just like me living in England, I'm happy with my little bit of England I've got right now because this is where I'm from and this is what I'm happy with. If I could do better and move on, that's a prospect, that's a dream. But don't we all have dreams? Or is it not for an English person that's not white English to have a dream as well? Because that's what I'm seeing here. The asylum seekers just want a dream for peace. And I'm quite glad as well that I've just heard that the hotel in Epping, the people in there are actually allowed to stay, whereas at first they were trying to kick them out. I'm actually happy with that because it's showing the same things that one person has pointed out here. His name is Secret Squirrel Scottish Gamer. No, it wasn't actually him. It was Real Deal 1515 is gone. The many crosses of St. George, the Flag Institute. The St. George's Cross flag is a white field with a red cross, primarily symbolising England and the Christian participation in the Crusades. The red cross represents sacrifice and courage, and the white signifies purity and peace. Historically, it identified English ships in the Mediterranean and became the national flag of England in the 13th century, seems to represent English to everyone else. So what he actually done is, he read the same Wikipedia post that I read when he said that. Let's keep that very honest. I understand about the peace and prosperity and that. I understand that is like a coat of arms for us as English, yeah? But that's something to do with the royal family, I presumed, yeah? The royal family coat of arms, yeah? So you're talking about the England flag now, the red and the white, and what they symbolise because you've read it. But then at the end of that, you're saying it seems to represent English to everyone. What we was told it is. So if someone is told Lion King is a children's film, we will all say yes, a children's film. We'll believe it's a children's film. Yes, it is an animation, Yes, it was brought out when we were kids, and that's how we watched it, a lot of us. And we presumed back then a lot of animation was presumed to be for children. Yeah. But when we actually think about the emotions that go on in Lion King, and we think what that could do internally to children just watching that, if they don't know how to control their emotions, we realize actually Lion King is more made for adults. And actually, it's adults that will feel this and be able to understand this, watch this, go through their emotions, and live their normal day in life. Whereas some children may get some emotional feelings from watching this child thing because we were told it's a children's thing. And that's what I feel like this is. We're told what it's supposed to be mean, and we're just supposed to believe it. And when I actually understand what he's actually trying to say, what it means, what we're told it means sacrifice. For me, we can't even sacrifice an empty hotel for refugees. Refugees that, if there's someone in that hotel now that is committing crimes or doing anything that is wrong, I get that. Get them out the country. Get them gone. I get that. But if these people are just living in there peacefully, sending their kids to the local schools to play with your children and learn with your children, they're working jobs, hard-working jobs. Some may be just factory work, some may be some caring work, some may be high jobs like surgeons. If we don't know specifically who's in that hotel and what their roles are while they're in this country, and also why they're even coming, we are showing them no, we're giving up no sacrifice there, because there's no sacrifice basically. None. There's no sacrifice. Then when he's saying the courage bit, because this is how I'm going to look at it. If we're waving the flag to represent what we believe as English, it represents us as English people, and it represents us for sacrifice, courage, purity, and peace. Then this is what we should be showing when we're waving the flag. That's what everybody should be showing. Yeah. And a sacrifice would be sacrificing an empty hotel to refugees, because we ain't staying in there at the moment. And if there is local ex-army or people on the streets, then why don't you get them from the streets when you walk past them every day and tell them there's an hotel over there? You could stay over there. You know what? I've got a spare room. You could stay over there. I'll sacrifice my 3 bed, my 3 houses, my 5 houses, my 2 houses, so you can get 1 house to share with 3, 4 people that have served for us as English people, because we're going to make a sacrifice like you made a sacrifice in the war for us. That's what I understand as a sacrifice. Give up something that is yours for charity, because even though you may need it or you may not, because someone else needs it more, you're making a sacrifice for someone else. What sacrifice are we making by standing up, waving flags, telling them to go? There's no sacrifice. Then we go to courage, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of women in these hotels. So what courage does it take for grown-ass people to go there shouting and larring at these people, get out? And as I've just heard on the ITV news with the one at Epping, it's not just protesting, which is you can do protest. We are people, and I'm not with the government in that sense where I understand how the government does not do a lot of things for us as people, even though they are people. Yeah. So I'm not rooting here for the government. Don't get that out your head. Yeah. But in the sense, if we feel that these people shouldn't be here or shouldn't be arriving, our option should not be to go and crowd up in hundreds and thousands, waving flags, shouting. And as I was pointing, because I lost my trailer for, as I was trying to say, I just watched on the ITV news, they said the Epping hotel where the refugees are has had violence and things happening around there. Violence. I thought it was a peaceful protest. So we're violently there, threatening young kids, women, and men, that some men may not be able to defend themselves. If it's a strong man, then I understand. If it's a group of strong people in there and you have to go there in your numbers, I get that. It's all right, Willow. But when it's women and children in these places, why are you going there to threaten these people? Threaten them. They've already come from somewhere threatening. Why are we not taking our courage to say we know where they're coming in? We know. We can actually get there and locate these spots. And the same way we've got hundreds and thousands outside of a hotel, we can line the same amount of hours that we spend there at the places where they may come in. We can stop them ourselves and send them back. That takes courage. That takes heart. That's what the courage is. I like to see that. Then we're talking about purity. People ain't being pure with why they're raising the flag. A percentage of them. I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying a percentage of them are not being pure when they're waving the flag. They are just shouting racial. They are being aggressive. They're just finding a reason to crowd up and say, I am here. I'm part of it. I'm English. I'm bloody English as well. And I'm not there. And I don't care. Why don't I care as an Englishman? Why don't some of the white English people that are marching telling some of those there that they are in the wrong, why don't they feel they are in the right and they're English? Why are they seeing something wrong? It's not because the waving of the flag. It's the slurs, the assaults, the violence, the threatening. It's all of that is going, and it's aimed not just at the refugees now, it's aimed also at people that are born here. That is my issue. That is my issue. So we're not even being pure in saying we're English and celebrating. Just like the women's football team. How many people were saying the women's football team is no good? I have never watched no women's game in my life. Putting on comments and laughing at them. Sending slurs and things to the players. But then when England won, they're there with their England flag waving it. That's exactly how I see this. Do you get that? That's exactly how I see this. Hypocrites not being pure to why they're waving the flag. Because a lot of those people waving the flag for the women's England national team were just fake. They were just there for their social networks. They were able to get tickets. They knew someone else that was going, and we went. It's in our area. We're going to show support for England. Followers, sheep. That's what I see. Sheep. Herding together. That's what I see. So there's no purity in why the flag's being waved by a lot of people there. Not everyone, let's get that. Not everyone, but a lot of people. They're not being pure in why. Yeah? Because purity in your heart will tell you the Ukrainian, the Polish people that live next door to me also need to go. Possibly. Because a lot of them are immigrants as well. When they go in the hospitals now, a lot of them throughout the week, are they telling this highly qualified surgeon or this highly qualified nurse or doctor that because you haven't got a British passport and you are an asylum seeker, I do not want you to see me? Are they saying that? Or is it only the ones that are frail and weak and in an hotel sheltering? Because then the courage again shows you ain't got no courage. That's a weak person in my mind. And you're not being pure in what you're after. And if you're after all asylum seekers, it's not just the ones in those hotels. You work with them, you live with them, you give them jobs, you get helped by them. Yeah? Then the next thing is peace. 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 So these people have came from wherever they came from for peace. They're being trying, I'm presuming again, it's not everyone that is being peaceful, just like it's not everyone that is shouting racial slurs at the protest. So not every one of these asylum seekers are peaceful. Let's get that as well. We understand that. So obviously better vetting is what's needed and more acceptance of who we let in and find out if there is space when they get here and find out how we can help them before they get here. That's what we need, a bit more of that. Because they're coming for peace and peace is not what's standing outside their hotel. That's fear. Fear that this fear that they feel in that hotel possibly could feel more fearful than in their own country where there's bombs and fighter planes. Have you thought about that? Because at least they know they've got family there or friends there or people that know them and everybody's in the same circumstance. So everybody's trying to save themselves. So they work together as one. It's just natural human instincts. Yeah? But now they're over here in one small building, trapped with nowhere to go. That's not peaceful. Throwing bricks, setting fires, shouting we want you out, causing mayhem on the streets, going to people's businesses and workplaces and causing problems, painting up the streets with flags, and when people are walking by, you're shouting slurs or being aggressive, and they're English. We're not with that at all. We're not with that. I'm an Englishman. I'm not with that. I'm not with that for anybody, whether you're an asylum seeker, whether you're English, whether you're a rich American or a poor bloody American. I don't give a damn. Yeah. So that's my feelings like real life. It's about the certain percentage of people that are going there with racial motives and not sincere ones. And they're using the England flag to get all the other sheep who just want to follow something and be part of something. Or just to show on their social networks to get followers. Like, I ain't doing this to get this YouTube. I don't care about followers. I care about me just speaking and being able to just see what I've got to say and just say it out loud, which is again why I'm saying I have to come away from the comments and feel like I have to tell them, because some of these people here, like secret squirrel Scottish gamers, like, you don't have an issue with the English flag, but you have an issue with the people flying it in England. I have an issue with a percentage of them flying it in England because they're being racist and they're shouting slurs when they are doing it. They're going on marches, waving the flag, they're painting the flag and shouting slurs at people. I'm not happy with those people, no. The ones that have just been simply thinking there's too many asylum seekers, that's a different issue. That's an issue that is separate from the flag. I believe you can represent yourself in whatever way you want to, because that's what I do. Nobody's going to tell me how I can think or feel, like I'm not allowing no one in the comments to tell me how they think and feel. I know what I feel. if you make a good point, then I'm going to look at that point. So just like as I said, the person talked about what the red and the white means. So I actually researched what these things mean and where that actually came from to understand that this wasn't even a flag. There was loads. And when I actually start thinking of history and you start thinking of all the shields and all the houses that England used to have, you start to realize there was how many different types of flag. And some of them did have the George's cross on there. Some of them didn't. Some of them had eagles and all types of things on their shield. And that was like for each county per se, each house, whatever. And then suddenly, because we needed protection, we had to get protection from, where was it? We had to get protection from Genoa. No. We had to get protection. Yeah, it was Genoa because of the Mediterranean. We needed to get help from Italian people, so we took on that. That's how we ended up with the Red Cross. And then it wasn't even a flag. Then it was just something that the soldiers wore to show their soldiers, although they would have had other coat of arms. And then when King George, St. George, actually became patron saint of England, that's when he gave us the Red Cross and, well, made the Red Cross a flag and got rid of all the other badges and coat of arms of who we all actually are. So some of those coat of arms were in England, but some of those coat of arms and those, it was probably some Danish man or Italian man or Polish or whatever, some other European country. Do you get that? And that's why St. George is not just only an English St. George. There's St. George represented on the Barcelona flags. There's St. George represented on who else is? On Milan's flag, on a Bologna flag, on a Genoa flag. So are they English over there as well? That's the question that I'm going to end with. Are they English as well because they have St. George representation on their flag? Or we English because it's our flag? Or is that ours? Should we own Genoa? Do we own Genoa? Do we own Barcelona? Is that ours? Because we're English and St. George's flag is ours. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a bit more history, just like you. So thank you for joining SJ Cartier Limited Combos, and I hope you have a good day.